The three-sided abyss. Listen closely, because what I'm about to tell you is a tale that'll chill you to the bone. It's about a place that's captivated imaginations and struck fear into sailors' hearts for centuries, the Bermuda Triangle. You've heard the stories, I'm sure. Ships vanishing without a trace, planes disappearing into thin air. But let me assure you, there's something much darker lurking beneath the surface. Picture it, a moonless night, the sea stretching out before me like an inky abyss. I was aboard the SS Tempest, a vessel sturdy enough to brave any storm. The crew was seasoned, the captain unwavering, and we thought we were prepared for anything. The sea was eerily calm, not a breath of wind stirring the sails. It felt like a shroud had been cast over the ocean, a silence so thick you could almost taste it. We sailed further into the heart of the triangle, that infamous stretch between Bermuda, Miami, and Puerto Rico. As the night wore on, a strange unease settled over the crew. We couldn't put our fingers on it, but it was as if the very air around us held its breath, anticipating something we couldn't yet see. I glanced around, meeting the eyes of my shipmates, and saw the same unease mirrored in their expressions. Then it happened. A low guttural hum seemed to rise from the depths of the sea, reverberating through the hull of the ship. It was like the ocean itself was speaking to us, a voice of ancient power and untold mysteries. My heart raced, the sound sending shivers down my spine. I rushed to the deck, my eyes scanning the horizon for any sign of what could be causing this unearthly phenomenon. The water around us seemed to ripple with an unnatural energy, as if some unseen force were at work beneath the surface. That's when I saw it, a faint ethereal glow on the horizon. It pulsed with an otherworldly light, casting an eerie glow across the water. It was like a siren's call, drawing us closer with a hypnotic allure. The captain barked orders, his voice tinged with a mixture of fear and determination. We steered toward the light, unable to resist its pull. It grew brighter with each passing moment, illuminating the dark expanse of the sea around us. As we approached, I could make out a shape in the water, a shadowy form that seemed to dance just beneath the surface. It was like nothing I'd ever seen before, a creature of myth and nightmare. Its eyes gleamed with an unsettling intelligence, and its form seemed to shift and change with the movement of the waves. A sense of dread settled over me, a realization that we were in the presence of something far beyond our understanding. It was as if the veil between our world and another had been torn asunder, revealing a realm of darkness and chaos. The captain shouted orders to turn the ship, to flee from this monstrous apparition, but it was too late. With a sudden violent force, the creature surged from the water, its massive form towering over us. The deck shuddered beneath its weight, sending crew members sprawling. I could hardly believe my eyes. The creature was like a leviathan from the depths of hell, its body a mass of writhing tentacles and grotesque appendages. It let out a deafening roar, a sound that seemed to reverberate through the very fabric of reality. Panic erupted among the crew, shouts and screams filling the air. We were like ants before a titan, helpless and insignificant in the face of such overwhelming power. I could feel the cold sweat on my brow, the taste of salt and fear on my lips. As the creature loomed over us, I felt a strange connection, an understanding that went beyond words. It was as if the entity could see into the depths of my soul, could sense the fear and awe that coursed through me. I could almost hear its voice in my mind, a dark, ancient presence that spoke of eons of existence. And then, in a blinding flash of light, everything changed. I stood on solid ground, the deck of the ship replaced by cold stone tiles. I was no longer aboard the Tempest, but in a chamber of unimaginable grandeur. The walls were adorned with carvings and glyphs, telling a story of a civilization far older and more powerful than any I had ever known. The air was heavy with the scent of incense, and the sound of distant chanting echoed through the chamber. In the center of the room stood the entity, its form now more ethereal than monstrous. It seemed to radiate a strange, mesmerizing energy, drawing me closer with an irresistible force. It spoke, not in words, but in images and emotions, a language that transcended the barriers of speech. I realized then that this creature was not a threat, but a guardian, a sentinel of the ancient realm that lay beyond the veil. It had shown itself to us, not out of malice, but to remind us of the boundless mysteries that lie hidden in the depths of the sea. With a final enigmatic gaze, the entity faded away, leaving me standing alone in the chamber. I was filled with a profound sense of awe and gratitude, a realization that I had witnessed something truly extraordinary. As I made my way back to the surface, the memory of the encounter stayed with me, a reminder that there are forces in this world that defy explanation. The Bermuda Triangle held secrets beyond our wildest imaginings, and I have been granted a glimpse into their depths. And so, I emerged from that fateful encounter forever changed, carrying with me a sense of wonder and reverence for the mysteries that lie hidden in the world around us. The veil of the abyss had been lifted, if only for a moment, revealing a realm of ancient power and untold beauty. And I, a mere witness to its majesty, would carry that memory with me for the rest of my days. Disaster at sea. Let me take you on a journey into the heart of the Bermuda Triangle. It's a place that's captivated imaginations and struck fear into the hearts of sailors and aviators for ages. A region known for its mysterious disappearances. It's the kind of place where even the most seasoned traveler should tread lightly. Picture this, a calm, sunny day at sea, with a salt breeze in my hair and the sparkling waters stretching as far as the eye can see. I was aboard the SS Serenity, a sturdy ship with a crew of old salts who had seen it all. We were making our way through the Triangle, that infamous stretch between Bermuda, Miami, and Puerto Rico. At first, everything seemed perfectly normal. The sea was as still as a pond, and I marveled at the beauty of the endless horizon. My fellow passengers were relaxed, some even sunbathing on the deck. It was all sunshine and smooth sailing, and I thought we were in for a serene, uneventful journey. But as I took in the view, something shifted in the atmosphere. The clear blue sky darkened, and ominous clouds gathered on the horizon. I couldn't shake the feeling of unease that washed over me. It was as if the very elements were conspiring to turn our idyllic journey into a nightmare. And then, without warning, the tranquility shattered. A sudden thunderstorm roared to life, unleashing a torrent of rain and fierce winds that whipped through the sails. The ship pitched and rolled with the violence of the tempest, and I clung to the railings as if my life depended on it. The once calm sea turned into a churning cauldron, the waves rising to monstrous heights. I had never seen anything like it. The ship was tossed about like a child's toy, and the crew scrambled to secure everything that wasn't bolted down. Panic gripped the passengers. Some huddled below deck, others clung to the rails, their faces etched with terror. It was a chaos of screams and shouts, and the sound of the wind and rain was deafening. As the ship fought to stay afloat, I couldn't help but wonder if this was the end. My mind raced with thoughts of those who had gone before us, lost in this very sea, swallowed up by its mysteries. The Bermuda Triangle was living up to its sinister reputation, and I feared we would join the ranks of the vanished. Hours passed, though it felt like an eternity. The storm showed no signs of abating, and the ship groaned and creaked under the strain. The crew worked tirelessly to keep us afloat, and I couldn't help but admire their determination in the face of such adversity. As the storm raged on, I caught sight of something on the horizon. It was a ship, or at least what was left of one. The vessel lay broken and battered, its masts snapped like twigs, its hull a splintered wreck. It was a chilling reminder of the fate that could befall us. But then, just as suddenly as it had begun, the storm started to dissipate. The winds died down, the rain eased, and the sea slowly calmed. It was as if the Bermuda Triangle had tired of its violent display and decided to release us from its clutches. With the worst behind us, the passengers and crew took a collective sigh of relief. We had weathered the storm, and the sun broke through the clouds, casting a warm golden light over the sea. It was a moment of respite, a chance to catch our breath and regain our composure. As the ship sailed on, I couldn't help but think of the mysteries that still lurked in the depths of the triangle. The storm had been terrifying, but it was a known danger, a force of nature that could be understood and predicted. But what about the unexplained disappearances, the strange phenomena, and the eerie stories that had haunted this region for centuries? And then, just as we thought our ordeal was over, something inexplicable happened. The ship seemed to shudder, as if it had hit an invisible wall. The crew rushed to the deck, their faces etched with confusion and concern. I joined them, my heart pounding in my chest. The water around us had turned an inky black, and a strange low hum filled the air. It was a sound like nothing I had ever heard, a resonance that seemed to vibrate through my very bones. The ship's instruments went haywire, the compass spinning wildly, and the lights flickering as if possessed. I looked out at the sea, and what I saw made my blood run cold. The water seemed to churn and boil, as if a powerful force lay just beneath the surface. It was as if the very fabric of reality had shifted, and we were on the precipice of an unknown abyss. With a sudden, violent force, the ship was lifted out of the water and into the air. I watched in horror as the sea disappeared beneath us, replaced by an empty void. It was a sensation of weightlessness, a feeling of being untethered from the world as I knew it. The ship hung in the air, suspended between the sea and the sky, as if we had crossed into another dimension. It was a realm of darkness and chaos, a place where the laws of nature no longer held sway. I couldn't make sense of what I was seeing, and my mind reeled with a sense of unreality. And then, as suddenly as it had begun, the ship was dropped back into the sea. We hit the water with a bone-jarring impact, and I was thrown to the deck. The ship bobbed in the water, the crew and passengers dazed and disoriented. I looked around, my mind racing to process what had just happened. The Bermuda Triangle had revealed a new layer of its mysteries, a dimension beyond our understanding. I couldn't help but wonder if we had glimpsed something that was never meant to be seen. As the ship continued on its course, I knew that we had survived an encounter with the unknown, a brush with the enigmatic forces that lie hidden in the heart of the triangle. The Bermuda Triangle had shown us its true face, and I couldn't help but wonder if there were more secrets waiting to be uncovered. And so, as I gazed out at the sea, I carried with me the memory of that fateful day, a reminder that there are forces in this world that defy explanation. The Bermuda Triangle held mysteries beyond our wildest imaginings, and I had witnessed a glimpse of their power. It was a place of wonder and terror, a realm of the unknown, and I knew that its secrets would continue to haunt my thoughts for the rest of my days. Echoes of the Triangle. All right, let me share a tale that'll make your skin crawl. We're venturing into the heart of the Bermuda Triangle, a place where reality seems to twist and bend. You've heard the rumors, the tales of vanished ships and planes. Buckle up, because this story is a wild ride. It started as a simple pleasure cruise, a sunny day out on the open sea. I was aboard the Sea Voyager, a yacht fit for royalty, with a crew as professional as they come. The waters were calm, the sky a perfect shade of blue. It all seemed like smooth sailing through paradise. But here's where things took a turn. Out of nowhere, the world shifted. The sky darkened, the air grew thick with tension. It was like the very atmosphere was holding its breath. waiting for something to happen. The calm before the storm, they call it, but this was something else entirely. Suddenly, the tranquility shattered. Thunder cracked overhead, a violent chorus of nature's fury. Rain hammered down like nails, and the wind howled like a vengeful spirit. The sea voyager, once gliding so gracefully, now rocked and groaned under the onslaught. I'll admit, panic set in. The passengers went from lounging on the deck to gripping the railings for dear life. The crew moved with frantic urgency, securing anything that dared to be unmoored. It was chaos, a scene straight out of a nightmare. As the storm raged on, I couldn't help but think of all those stories I'd heard. Ships and planes vanishing into thin air, as if the triangle had an appetite for the lost. It was one thing to hear the tales, quite another to live them. The Bermuda Triangle had us in its grip, and I feared we were about to become another chapter in its dark history. Hours passed, though it felt like days. The storm showed no sign of relenting, and the sea voyager bore the scars of the battle. The crew, though weary, fought on. They were a testament to human resilience in the face of the unknown. Then, just as suddenly as it had begun, the storm abated. The wind died down, the rain eased, and the sea calmed. It was as if the Bermuda Triangle had grown tired of its tantrum and decided to let us go. We sailed on, the crew and passengers breathing sighs of relief. The sun broke through the clouds, casting a golden glow over the water. It was a moment of respite, a chance to regroup and gather our wits. But here's where it gets strange. Just when we thought we were in the clear, the sea seemed to shimmer and shift. It was like a ripple in reality itself. I watched in disbelief as the horizon warped and twisted, as if we were being pulled into another dimension. The water turned an inky black, and a low hum filled the air. It was a sound that seemed to vibrate through my bones, a resonance that echoed in the very core of my being. The instruments on the ship went haywire, the compass spinning wildly, and the lights flickering like strobe lights at a rave. I stood there, frozen in awe and terror, as the sea seemed to part before us. The ship was lifted, as if by invisible hands, and we sailed through a gateway into a new world. It was a realm of shadows and echoes, a place where the laws of nature held no sway. The ship floated in the void, suspended in a sea of darkness. It was a sensation of weightlessness, of being untethered from reality. I couldn't make sense of what I was seeing, and my mind reeled with the sheer impossibility of it all. And then, just as suddenly as it had begun, we were dropped back into the sea. The impact was bone-jarring, and I was thrown to the deck. The ship bobbed on the water, the crew and passengers dazed and disoriented. I looked around, my mind struggling to process what had just happened. We had crossed into another dimension, a place beyond our understanding. The Bermuda Triangle had shown us a glimpse of its true nature, and I couldn't help but wonder how many others had experienced the same. As the ship sailed on, I knew that we had witnessed something beyond explanation. The Bermuda Triangle held secrets that defied logic, that challenged the very fabric of reality. I couldn't shake the feeling that we had brushed against a force far greater than ourselves. And so, as I stood on the deck, gazing out at the sea, I carried with me the memory of that fateful day. The Bermuda Triangle had revealed a side of itself that few had ever seen, a dimension of shadows and echoes. It was a place of wonder and terror, a realm of the unknown, and I knew that its mysteries would continue to haunt my thoughts for the rest of my days.